Well, we're here at this friggin' video. Happy at Bethel. Happy at Bethel. This is, well, I'm sure you've all seen this, but it is showcasing how normal Jehovah's Witnesses are, and they're just like everyone else. In fact, they're so much like everyone else that they are jumping on this trend that happened a year and a half ago, where everyone is, I'm not going to play this song for you, because it's people were sick of this song a year ago, and Jehovah's Witnesses at Bethel decided to play the frickin' happy song that nobody likes anymore, if they ever did like it. And it's, well, you remember the big fad that was going on where people in offices would do a montage. It was everything. It was, you know, they'd have Walmart people all dancing together to the happy song, and then they'd have, it'd show the lighter side of everyone. People that are usually considered stodgy, like they'd have senior citizens in their rest homes doing the happy dance. They were showing, this is not a stale environment. See, we're in an office, we're in cubicles, but look, we're throwing our papers in the air, and we're dancing, we're happy. And Jehovah's Witnesses late to the party, as usual, but they decided to just toss their hat into the ring, and I never would have imagined this when I was younger. I'm from a different world, folks. I grew up in the 80s world of Jehovah's Witnesses. This never would have happened. Nothing like this ever would have been condoned or even considered okay. Not by anyone, not for one. I've seen people reprimanded sternly for far less than this. If you're wondering what this dick is doing, well, he's moonwalking. He's in the middle of a friggin' moonwalk. Moonwalking! If you're anyone between the age of 30 and 50, I don't even have to explain to you why this is wrong. I don't even have to explain to you. I won't even get into why this is wrong. It's infuriating. My blood pressure will go up. I can't take it. This is, 20 years ago, this was probably the most offensive thing that a Jehovah's Witness could do. If it was a young person whose parents were Jehovah's Witnesses and they wanted to rebel or offend their parents, moonwalking. Well, apparently now it's okay. Moonwalking is okay. I'm flustered. This video really cheesed me off. I know some people laughed at this video, like they got a giggle out of it. To me, it was just infuriating. It's like they were giving Jehovah the finger. By the way, if you're wondering where this man is, he's apparently at the Warwick construction site. You know, Jehovah's ground that was bought with your donation money. This man's moonwalking. I was on the RBC for many years. Since I was 12. My dad at one time was the RBC director in our area. And so I've been on a lot of hall builds. Dozens of hall builds. This kind of a conduct is not appropriate. They don't even allow you to wear... I've seen people turned away from hall builds because they were wearing neon... There was one person that got turned away because they were wearing neon green shoestrings. And the brothers couldn't allow that. By the way, he was a local brother. That was his kingdom hall. The RBC comes from all different directions to help people rebuild or remodel their kingdom halls. This is somebody that went to that congregation. And somebody from out of town turned him away because his tennis shoes had bright green shoestrings on it. I've seen people that had to go home and change clothes because they were wearing a sweatshirt that had the Adidas logo on it. Well, brother, we can't have those sort of logos on it. We're supposed to be no part of the world. We don't bring worldly things into Jehovah's land here. And if you're wondering, is a kingdom hall site or any construction site, is that holy ground for Jehovah's Witnesses? Well, the answer is yes. Even before the kingdom hall is dedicated, they hold meetings on that site. And people are wearing work clothes, of course. They're not working in their suits and ties, but they are told to be dressed in Christian attire maintain Christian modesty and Christian attitudes and a Christian decorum at all times. On a hall build, this man is moonwalking. I've seen people horse around at hall builds here and there a little bit. One time a person was pretending to hit someone else with their hammer. That person was sternly reprimanded. I saw another time where some young teenagers, some young people working at a Kingdom Hall build were just joking around and they started shoving each other a little bit. They were told to go sit in the car. And they had driven, they come with their families and driven probably 150 miles away. They spent the rest of the day sitting in their car, separated. They wouldn't even let them work because they had, that decorum had been compromised. And this idiot is moonwalking on Jehovah's ground. This is ground that belongs to Jehovah. You do not imitate worldly dancers and worldly singers on Jehovah's property. This is Jehovah's property. That's Jehovah's shit behind you. You do not imitate something you saw on MTV or some worldly channel. Where did this man learn to do this, by the way? This is an old dick here. How old is this guy? 40? Was this guy doing this in his basement his whole life? He didn't just learn to moonwalk for this video. Oh, I just now learned how to moonwalk for this video. This dick's been doing this in secret his whole life. And now, when apparently this has been okayed by the higher-ups. Look, this had to have been okayed. If you've ever been to the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, it is tightly controlled. And this is not one rogue elder. This is not one rogue section. This was all over various parts of Bethel, various locations. Each zone overseer had to sign off on this. Well, what does that mean? It means it was okayed at the very top levels. I'm talking about the governing body had to sign off on something like this. I'm sorry if you need to know this. The governing body, I don't think they participated in this video, or they probably didn't even know the details of the video. But they did okay it. That's just the way the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses. It is the most tightly controlled environment. Government buildings do not have this sort of control. These are tightly wound people. By the way, this is false advertising. You think this is what Bethel is like? Bethel does not endorse any sort of raucous behavior or loud music. They don't. You think this is a day at Bethel. They don't allow people to play loud music at Bethel. They don't allow people to leave a napkin on their... if you leave your toothbrush laying on your sink in your own personal bathroom, you get written up. If you leave a sock on your bureau, you get written up. You only get so many warnings before you are dealt with. These people are cutting loose. Fudge. This is absolute false advertising. These people are not carefree. The world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses is not a carefree environment. They're lying to you. This is a trick. This is the only time, well, I shouldn't say the only time. They do have family night. They have very, very individual occasions on which people can let their hair down. But even those, this is people in their workstations acting up. I saw a man throwing papers in the air. People swinging things around. This is not okay. But for the purposes of this, it's a cost analysis thing where they're doing this big PR makeover. I don't know how it started. I think an independent consulting company, Watchtower Society, appears to have paid some consulting company to help them preserve their future, to help them rebrand and reform themselves. If you haven't noticed, in the past few years, it seems like there's been a sea change. Well, they're not really changing. They're not really becoming more like the world. They're giving the appearance that they are. They haven't changed. You've heard the talks. You've been to the meetings. They're not changing. Nothing about them is changing. except for this advertising blitz. This is gigantic advertising jw.org at all costs. Make it seem fun. That seems to be the impetus. And I've been on jw.org. It's not that fun. I've watched the videos. They're not good? They're not that good. They're boring as all hell. Nevertheless, they seem to be trying to trick people. It seems like they're trying to manipulate things to make it seem like jw.org is fun. That people are having fun. Look, fun things do happen for Bethelites. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of fun that happens behind the scenes, but it's not endorsed by this is workstations. The fun people have is that when they get invited to people's homes, they do cut loose a little bit. And yes, they would listen to poppy songs and dance around. It happens all the time. But not in Jehovah's house. Oh no. In this video, a man raises the roof. You're raising the roof on Jehovah's house. And I've heard people make the excuse, well, this man's outside. Magically, it doesn't count because this man's standing outside. Oh, well, they're seriously talking about the technicality of this man being standing outside the building on the driveway area. Well, what about the people running in the hallways? Huh? There's people running and dancing through Jehovah's hallways. I just had a commenter tell me a story about a little boy that was quickly walking down the steps of an assembly to get to the restroom, and a grown man body checked him to the ground, knocked the shit out of him because he was jealous for Jehovah's house. And that little prick had been running in Jehovah's house. I made a video a couple weeks ago about people whipping kids' ass, grabbing kids and whipping their ass for running in Jehovah's house. Now you got people that should know better dancing in Jehovah's house. There was a man doing kick squats on the top of Jehovah's house. Some dick raising the roof inside Jehovah's house. Jehovah's holy house! His holy friggin' house! The infuriating part is how quickly these rules that people have been whipped over went out the window. The moment it became necessary to facilitate this idea that Jehovah's Witnesses are just like everyone else in the world, we're just as generic as everyone else in the world that has done the same corny video. We're just generic, boring, ordinary people like you. Nothing to see here. We're just generic people who are happy about nothing. It means that all the ass whippings that have taken place over the years, all the thousands of JW kids that got their asses whipped for misbehaving in Jehovah's house, it was for nothing. Think about that. Think about all the kids that got whipped at the Kingdom Hall for not keeping their eyes on the stage, for looking at the ceiling or playing, I don't know. They gave him a pencil to write down Jehovah's name, and instead they drew a happy face with it, and they get whipped. Now these people are singing about being happy in Jehovah's house. My God. Infuriating. Inappropriate. These are the people that whip kids for singing and dancing. Cutting loose. How can you say that you're no part of the world when you're doing the exact thing that has already been done by every worldly institution in the world? They even had the government people in buildings doing the happy dance to the song. This thing that was popular, that's what's so weird about it, is that this is so passé. This was done and over a long time ago, where they had various people at various institutions and buildings that would, hey, we may look dry and stale, but here we're going to bust loose to happy. This was already done by everyone, everywhere. The schools would have the teachers and the whole staff doing it together, and the lunch lady and everything. This is this is something exactly like everyone else in the world has done. How can you be no part of the world? Isn't that the whole idea? Is that you're distinguishing yourself from the world? You see, Jehovah's Witnesses, that's their big thing. Is that by dress and grooming, they can distinguish themselves from the world. It sounds like a strange concept, but when you're a JW, it almost starts making sense. That by being as nondescript as humanly possible, you will therefore make a fashion statement by having no fashion. This may not make sense to you if you're an outsider. Believe me, when you're a JW, it makes perfect sense. If you see JWs and I'm not talking about publishers. I'm talking about the real JWs. I'm not talking about there you go on Instagram. The people look like they're, it looks like something from MTV Beach House or something. I don't know what's going on. These kids are out of control. I don't condone it. There's the JWs that they take pictures of and put in Watchtower magazines. Well, they always have their shirt tucked in and they're always wearing some stupid thing. And the idea is that they have that very bland, very tasteless look to them. A lot of earth tones. Beige is very popular in Watchtower magazine. Or they have beige pants with some frickin' burnt orange shirt like this guy is wearing. The idea is that, have you seen JWs and there seems something a little bit different about them. That's what they really clasp onto. And it may be something that you barely notice or you say, yeah, he's a little bit, there's something about him that's a little bit different than everyone else. It's about that genericness that Jehovah's Witnesses are told to aspire for. And the idea is that you don't follow the trends of the world. You don't do it. Jehovah's Witnesses are not supposed to be dressing like worldly people. Well, what does that mean? You're not supposed to be wearing things like gold chains around your neck. You're not supposed to be wearing things with logos. You're not supposed to be wearing anything that will attract attention to yourself or make you stand out from the rest of the crowd. I know it sounds like a strange thing and you're like, what does that mean? What does it accomplish? It means something to JWs, believe me. They are commended when people say, I couldn't pick him. I must commend you, brother. I couldn't pick you out from anyone else. You are indistinguishable, except from the world. The world where people dress with flair and personality. You don't do that, brother. This man's dancing. I can't believe it. I've seen wedding receptions that were canceled in the middle of the wedding reception because the dancing got out of hand. They pulled the plug on somebody's wedding. This is a real thing. It happened in Hutchinson, Kansas. I remember it vividly. In the middle of these people's wedding reception, the elders pulled the plug because they were dancing to... They weren't dancing to something satanic. They were dancing to bouncy popular music, exactly what this is. There was no profane lyrics. These people didn't start playing something profane during their wedding reception. It was just some bippity-boppity music. And it got shut down. I've seen get-togethers where they write on the invitation, there will be no worldly dancing allowed. There will be no worldly clothing allowed. Elders have gone over the guest lists with people talking about what sort of apparel will be worn to this function. What sort of music will you be playing? Perhaps you shouldn't be playing music at all. I go on all day. This appears to be negated. Let me read this to you. This appears to be negated by Jehovah's command, you must be joyful. And that is what's given as the explanation here. Jehovah's Witnesses are a joyful and happy people. As you see, the JW Bethel I've shown in this video. Jehovah God commands us, you must be joyful. You know, what? Sex is also joyful. Having great sex is joyful. Just because... Calm down, everyone. The point is, just because something makes you joyful does not mean Jehovah's okay with it. For all my life, Jehovah's never been okay with anything like this. It is inflaming to him. And now it's, apparently they're saying, well, we must be joyful, so we better get started now. The Bible says there is a time and a season for all things. We are in the final moments before Armageddon, are we not? In Bible times, people proclaiming the end of that current system of things ripped their garments and smeared ash on their face and in their hair. They bewailed the judgment that had fallen upon people. Was, wait, what's going on? People are about to be destroyed, right? The man who wrote this song is going to die at Armageddon, right? No. I don't want to hear maybes or what ifs. The worldly person who sings this song is about to die at Armageddon, correct? Billions of worldly people are about to die, and you're dancing to their music. People in this video, they're doing the splits. They're doing their squat dancing. They're acting silly. It is not appropriate to be acting silly when hundreds of millions, billions of people are about to die. That is inappropriate. It's like you're dancing in their face, and you're taking their music and dancing in the final moments before their death. By the way, there's no guarantee that any of us are going to survive this. The Bible does not guarantee survival for anyone. It says probably you may be concealed in the day of his anger. It says to go about your work in fear and trembling. Do you see these people trembling with fear? Outrageous. Outrageous. Look, if you showed up at a Kingdom Hall project and you were wearing your baseball cap backwards and they told you to remove it, and you say, but brothers, this makes me joyful, they would get you out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. Anyway, I just wanted to... It seems like Jehovah's Witnesses are forgetting themselves. It's just amazing. These people... It's this selective morality. It's selective times. How does this work? I don't know how this works. I don't know how they're doing it. Apparently, someone at Bethel just said, "Okay, do it," and immediately they just turn off their. Anyway, just wanted to, I don't know. Just wanted to help our friends at the Kingdom Hall, and I reminded them that the day of Jehovah's great anger is near, and it is coming, and there is a hurrying of it very much. When Joshua began to hear the noise of the people because of their shouting, he said to Moses, "There is a sound of battle in the camp." But Moses said, "It is not the sound of singing over a victory. It is not the sound of wailing over defeat. I hear the sound of a different kind of singing." Well, what does that mean? They were singing something that was detestable to Jehovah, because it was not Jehovah's music, it was worldly music. No doubt that something they had imitated from their time in Egypt among the worldly people. Playing tambourines and dancing, if you have my Bible story book. Dancing and singing. By the way, this was a festival to Jehovah. What? This wasn't a festival to Satan. It was a festival to Jehovah. They did it in Jehovah's honor. See, they made an image of Jehovah, and they celebrated this because they were joyful. And Well, long story short, 3,000 of them died in one day. Well, Benny Sichter decided to weigh in on this. By the way, I'm just reading from the Bible. I did not add any commentary there. I just want you to know, in this comment section, I am not editorializing. I'm reading from the Bible. But Benny Sichter says, "Oh, my name is Benny Sphincter. There is no such thing as the day of Jehovah's great anger, because nothing exists that can ever harm Jehovah. Therefore, he is always patient with us." He actually said that. Nothing can ever harm Jehovah, except when Caleb plays with Sparlock, which hurts Jehovah. What? Oh, well, yes, you can hurt Jehovah by playing with Sparlock, but other than that, nothing can harm him. This man says there is no day of Jehovah's great anger. Apparently, I don't know, it's been called off. Because Jehovah's happy, like in the song. He's happy. Happiness is the truth, 'cause I'm happy. Jehovah's happy. I don't know, it's just a happy feeling out there. Jehovah's Armageddon is going to happen at any moment because of the groundswell of Jehovah's anger. But aside from that, he's very happy. He's happy, angry, sad all the time. Apparently the great day of Jehovah is near. According to me, the great day of Jehovah is near. It is near and approaching very quickly. The sound of the day of Jehovah is bitter. The warrior cries out. That day is a day of fury, a day of happiness. Oh, I mean a day of distress and people dancing. Oh, I mean a day of distress and anguish. A day of silliness. Oh, I mean a day of storm and dicks dancing. Oh, and desolation. A day of storm and desolation. A day of darkness. A day of gloom. A day of clouds and thick gloom. A day of the horn and of the battle cry. Against the fortified cities and against the high corner towers. I will cause distress to mankind, and they will walk away like blind men, because it is against Jehovah that they have sinned. Their blood will be poured out like dust, and their flesh like the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to save them in the day of Jehovah's fury. For by fire of his zeal the whole earth will be consumed, because he will make an extermination, indeed a terrible one, of all the inhabitants of the earth. Gather yourselves before the decree takes effect, before the day passes by like the chaff, before the burning anger of Jehovah comes upon you. Seek Jehovah, you meek ones of the earth, who observe his righteous decrees. Seek righteousness. Seek meekness. Probably you may be concealed in the day of Jehovah's anger, which I've just been told does not exist. By the way, apparently Jehovah hasn't killed people from one end of the earth to another. The whole earth has not yet been consumed by Jehovah's anger, so apparently this is a future event, in case this wasn't clear to you. Because he has not exterminated people from one end of the earth to the other, so this is an upcoming thing, correct? Well, I've just been told that it's not. I've been told that it's called off because Jehovah's a happy-go-lucky guy. And he called the whole thing off. Day of Jehovah's anger doesn't exist now. Well, we have a JW here named Nikhil Lagars who says, just ignore this guy. Are you talking to me or Jehovah? Because this is Jehovah's, this comes directly from the New World Translation of Jehovah's Bible. I did not add anything. I did not take anything away. This is word for word Jehovah. This is what Jehovah says. That ain't what I say. Just ignore this guy and go back to watching our brother moonwalk. Unreal. Unreal. And Benny Sphincter, I think there's something wrong with this man. He says, The words you are saying about Jehovah do not belong to God's word. They are inspired by demons who try to discredit Jehovah. What? Bro, that's insane. And this woman says, how is anyone supposed to decipher God's word from the words of demons? Who gets to decide which part of the Bible is inspired? Well, apparently Jehovah's Witnesses are taking scissors to the Bible all the time. They're cutting... Hey, they've taken entire pages out of the Bible. Did you... Yeah, you've heard about this. Well, they started clipping away little words and little sentences, and then after a while, a couple of pages were missing from certain parts of the Bible. Calm down. Calm down. It'll be all right. And here's... This is from Dan Merritt here. It says, how worldly. JW is going with the fad. Amazing. It is amazing. How far they are sinking. Idolatry. Rewriting the Bible. TV evangelism. Did you ever think we'd see this day, folks? If you're from the old school, did you ever think this day would come? TV shows. Now jumping on the fad bandwagon. This is exactly. It's a bandwagon. You're jumping on a bandwagon. Everyone's already done this frickin' video. Nobody likes it anymore. There's nothing original about this video. That's probably the most offensive part. Is that you threw Jehovah, your God, under the bus for something so corny. You desecrated Jehovah's house for this? Because I'm happy. Tell your friends that happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Nobody even wants to hear that song again for the next 5 years. You compromised Jehovah's Holy Spirit in his holy temple of pure worship. This is his headquarters. This isn't a random Kingdom Hall. Shh. For God's sakes, we've seen videos of people dancing in Kingdom Halls, doing the Texas two-step on the stage of the Kingdom Hall. This is worse. If you don't know, this is 10 times worse. This is 50 times worse. This is Jehovah's headquarters. And people bebopping inside of it. Unbelievable. All the things they have always claimed to be separated from, now they are embracing for the convenience of this momentary need of people saying they're a cult, they're a cult, they're a cult. No, we need to look normal. We need to do something to broadcast that image. What other violation of theirs will be next? Too bad children aren't as high as a priority as their image. Oh, burn. They still protect pedophiles. Let me rewind this up here for you. This dick is dancing. He's dancing the Michael Jackson dance while his leaders are refusing to go to court to testify in a case involving a molested child. They refuse to cooperate with police who are investigating child molestations, but they'll cooperate with Pharrell Williams and doing this video where they'll use his music and they're dancing. This man is moonwalking while tens of millions of Jehovah's donation dollars have gone to child molestation victims in spite of the Watchtower refusing to cooperate, refusing to show up for testimony. Jarrett Loesch is ordered to pay $1 million fine of $1 million for nothing, just because he didn't want to show up. He didn't want to show up for a court case and testify, and so here's $1 million. Jehovah's hard-earned money of Jehovah's people. Now watch this video of this dick dancing. This idiot is dancing. I can't believe it. He's dancing before the... No. It is what it is. Too bad children aren't as high as a priority for their image. Too bad protecting pedophiles, still demonizing education, still breaking up families, and their members are still dying over changing medical doctrines, but it's so nice to see them jump on the fad mobile. You know, to me, it's too bad for the worldly people who may have gotten saved in the door-to-door work, but instead they're making a music video. How long do you think it took to compile this music video, by the way? We're in the final moments before Armageddon. Why aren't you out in service? Oh, I know you have jobs to do at Bethel. I know you have to run I know you have to make the dough in the kitchen, and I know you have to wash the windows and all that stuff. Apparently this needs to be done even though everyone's life is hanging in the balance. But you didn't need to be making a video. You didn't need to be making a worldly music video of people dancing and moonwalking. You didn't need to be doing that. You're going to get plenty of recreation in the new system of things. Did you forget about that? Where you're going to have hundreds of trillions of years of eternal life playing volleyball, gardening, taking in sunlight, picking flowers, anything you want for hundreds of trillions of years. But you think washing windows at Bethel is more important, or typing on computers at Bethel is more important, or doing the daily... I get it. But you didn't need to be making a video. There's no need for this. Not in the final moments before Armageddon. You're running the race for life. You stopped running the race for life to dance? Why would somebody running a marathon stop and dance? Stop and videotape themselves dancing. And we'll just look at some other ones here. I won't keep you people here all day, but I just thought some of these people are so silly. Oh, and here's a JW. You can tell by the look on his face. Oh, he's wearing a tie. He is a JW. Andrea Guerrero. And he's going to take a counter position. And he's going to quote the Bible. Likewise, John came neither eating nor drinking, but people says he has a demon. Well, John the Baptist, as you know, lived a very austere lifestyle. And people thought he was weird because of it. The Son of Man did come eating and drinking, but people say, oh, look, a man who is a glutton and given to drinking wine, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. And he's trying to make the point here that some people were offended by Jesus. Here's the difference. Jesus didn't do anything hypocritical. Jesus didn't sin. He didn't do anything wrong. He ate food? Excuse me. He ate food? He drank wine, which was not against any law. He didn't moonwalk in Jehovah's house. We didn't read anything about him moonwalking in Jehovah's holy temple. Did you read what Jesus said about criticism? He didn't say anything about criticism. He who hated me hates you. You've never read that? No, I did read that. That's about people being delivered up to the higher authorities. Nobody's delivering Jehovah's Witnesses up to the authorities. Nobody's imprisoning them or feeding them to the lions or flogging them. The people in this comment section are saying, wait, you're dancing to worldly music in Jehovah's house? Why? It's not even that I've taken it pretty hard, but I think most people they're bemused. I don't think they're even angry about it. They're just like, why would you do that? Do you think people are going to look at this and say it's cool? Well, apparently people did. It got a lot of thumbs up. So, JWs love it. Oh, what am I upset about? And, he gets some free psychiatry here, too. You have anger because Jehovah's people are happy. I have so much anger because of Jehovah's happiness. Because Jehovah's people are so happy, I just hate it. We will be poor, but we are extremely happy, but full of divine knowledge. And, we'll move things along here. And... if you don't like the wonderful video, then just don't watch it. It's that simple. And certainly don't comment negatively about it. Keep your negativity to yourself. That's what I tell JWs when they come to my door. Oh, you need to hear Jehovah's message. Keep your negative comments to yourself. I just read Jehovah's paragraph here, and they told Jehovah to keep his negative comments to himself. We're being told by Jehovah's Witnesses now to ignore Jehovah. Ignore Jehovah's day. I'm agreeing with you. You dick. I'm on your side, you bastard. I am proclaiming the great day of Jehovah. I am assuring people that it is very near and it is coming, and they're telling them to ignore it. Ignore it. Just ignore it. What a bunch of hooey. Negativity. Where do these people come from? And Damara says, how many times have ex-JWs been called vile and hateful names? By both JWs and the Watchtower. How many families has the Watchtower been broken up? All these people dancing in this video, they have brothers or sisters or aunts or moms and dads they don't talk to because they're disfellowshipped. That's what's so uncomfortable about sitting and watching a video about this. These people don't live happy-go-lucky lives. They have darkness. They have dark, broken lives. They have broken families. Who do you know that doesn't have some friend or family that's been disfellowshipped? I guarantee you virtually everyone dancing like a fool in that video has some close friend or some close family member that they treat like they're dead. But they're dancing to a worldly rapper's song. They're dancing to a worldly person's song, but they wouldn't pick up the phone and call their relative if they were dying. How many deaths on the Watchtower's hands for medical doctrine that keep changing, etc.? I'm calling out the hypocrisy. Thank you. JWs boast and treat people like crap with their we are separate from worldly everything. Yet participate in a worldly fad? Come on, get serious. It would be funny if it weren't so sad. It would be funny, except for how tragic it is. This is bizarre to the point of almost being comical. You might laugh for 30 seconds, and then once you start thinking about it, you want to shake your head and then punch someone in the face. And, well, we'll just keep going down here. Hannah Maybanks again. She has some friggin' panda bear from the new system. Separate from the world doesn't mean that we can't have fun. I'm done talking about it. Think what you want, but you are wrong. I thought field service was fun. I thought the greatest joy you can have in life is the joy of the ministry. You need to go find joy in something else? No, excuse me. Every assembly I have ever been to that I can remember told us the greatest joy in life is serving Jehovah. What joy did you get out of this worldly person's booty-shaking music? The greatest happiness we have in life comes from field service and singing praises to Jehovah and worshiping Jehovah. And Dan Mara says, Hannah Maybanks, you can't demonize something and then embrace it at the same time when it serves your purposes without being, I added a few things. You forgot something, Dan Mara. I included it. You're embracing it to serve your immediate purpose. I was saying, we have to make JW.org seem happy and youthful. It's the youthful thing that they're really emphasizing about JW.org. Emphasize how youthful it is. People wearing sunglasses like JW.org. People that wear t-shirts are the JW.org type. We want to emphasize that. You can't have this kind of hypocrisy without being called out. This isn't about being happy. I know there are happy JWs. No one claims there aren't. This is about a video by JWs, obviously with Watchtower approval. Thank you. Since it's filmed all over Bethel. Thank you. That is a fad. And since I was in first grade, I can remember being counseled and instructed from the stage and in the magazines and at the conventions not to be taken in by fads. We are to avoid fads. These people have embraced it. They're jumping into it. I've been told my entire life to avoid fads. I couldn't have simple things. I couldn't have like this, you know, it's almost like joke stuff. Like a little kid wants sparklers on his bicycle or something. His parents won't get it for him because it's a fad. I wasn't allowed to collect baseball cards when I was a little kid. These people are dancing to a hip-hop singer. They jumped on the bandwagon and tried to prove something. Exactly, it's all about fitting in with this world that is dying. This world is passing away. Why are you trying to jump on their bandwagon and seem like you fit in with them? Look, we're just like everyone else. We're dancing to the same song that everyone else is. It's sad, pathetic, and hypocritical. Have fun all you want, but posting it public opens you to get called out on hypocrisy. Can't you see that's the issue here? Thank you. There are so many worldly actions in this video, it's downright shocking. I feel the same way. I don't know where to begin. Especially for those of us who know better. At least when I was a JW, I was a proud JW who would have never stooped to jumping on some worldly trend. Especially since the Watchtower teaches such things are against Jehovah. That's the bottom line. Clothing. They have very, very tight restrictions on clothing. They have a brochure. They have a pamphlet they circulate now telling people how to dress on tours of Jehovah's Witness facilities. They're not talking even about Jehovah's Witnesses. They're saying if you want to walk through our building, you must dress a certain way. And they include pictures. I'm not making this up. They have pamphlets including pictures telling visitors how they must dress to visit Jehovah's people. They tell visitors how to dress to visit them. You have to be wearing dress slacks and a brown belt with your shirt tucked in, and women must be wearing sensible skirts below the knee, etc., etc. And the idea is that it's about Jehovah. It's about not igniting Jehovah's anger. We do all this for Jehovah. You say, but why would you get stumbled over me wearing jeans to your facility, brothers? It's not us. It's not about us. It's about Jehovah. Jehovah's name is at stake here. Jehovah's dignity. This is about Jehovah's dignity. What happened to it? Where'd it go? It gone. If there weren't so much corruption coming out of your organization, I wouldn't be interested at all. But people, especially children, are still being hurt and even killed by the men you follow. That's what's terrible about this. These people are dancing and acting silly while people are being badly hurt. Matthew Cardellone. I'm just imagining this guy looks like Matthew Perry. Just putting a face to the name there. Pretty sad how all these people try and attack us for being happy. Yeah, that's what's going on. Besides, the Bible said that this would happen anyway. His people would be attacked. And it just proves Bible prophecy's correct. Bible prophecy being fulfilled here. Did you people know that? The Bible prophecy is being fulfilled before your eyes. Here. Apparently, this was all prophesied. And you are all fulfilling Bible prophecy. Jehovah said long ago that one of his men would be moonwalking. And you would notice it. And say, hey, are you supposed to be doing that? Ha 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 ha, you're attacked his people. You proved the Bible correct. You verified it. Thanks, guys. Ha ha ha. And anyway, I love hearing people like Watchtower Destroyer and Aaron Z trying to put doubt in our minds. Ain't nobody put doubt in your mind. Well, maybe they did. I don't know. I'm talking about a man moonwalking. This is not controversial stuff. This is basic JW stuff. The man's moonwalking on Jehovah's ground. putting doubt in your mind. We are the ones reviving spiritual food and a hope that no, you're not. Jehovah provides food at the spot. Jehovah provides the food. The governing body administers it. You are not reviving spiritual food. This man's taking credit for this. Well, I can already tell he's a very silly person. And a hope that's as sure as the waves hitting the shore. And you are the ones with literally nothing better to do than scouring YouTube videos looking for the things to pick on. It's quite comedic, actually. You are saying we aren't happy, and we aren't a true religion, but let's be honest. If your happiness comes from meaningless comments on a video sharing website, then, my friend, look at yourself properly. You're not happy. You're trying to make others happy. And again, thanks for the reassurance that the Bible is right every time. It just shows those who are paying attention to world events and that read the Bible can see that this is what is said will happen. You physically cannot deny it. I don't know what that means. You physically cannot deny it. He lost me there. It just shows those who are paying attention to world events. How are you paying attention to world events unfolding in the final moments before Armageddon when you're dancing to a worldly person song? Calm down. Calm down. Easy, 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 easy. If you have read the Bible, like you say, you would see that the things are deteriorating at a rapid pace. Not such a rapid pace that you didn't have time to dance. I'm young, and I could be doing anything with my life. Anything. I'm quite good at sport. I could have a career in it and make lots of money. Excuse me if I don't believe you. Everything else fame brings. He could be famous and rich. But instead, he's... Wait, your dance... Wait, you wouldn't have a career being a worldly celebrity, but you'll dance to the music on YouTube? But for a young person with struggles and a view on the current world to pass up opportunities like that isn't just because I'm silly or the Watchtower told me to, and it's Watchtower Bible and Tract Society for most of you that don't know. It's because even a young person, I have clear eyes and can see the world falling apart. But you'll dance to its music. If you know Jehovah's Witnesses at all, you will know what we preach. That this system is coming to an end. Similarly, just like the people banging on the door before the flood of Noah's day. Oh, I remember that prophecy. Oh, they used to talk about that at the Kingdom Hall holiday. The people who are disfellowshipped or people who weren't interested at the door. Well, when the Kingdom Hall door is shut, when the Great Tribulation begins, oh, those people will be there banging on that door. I remember being a little tot, and I shuddered at the thought of that. Now it seems like a joke after watching this friggin' video. Sadly, it seems you will be those people. Did you just judge the people watching this video? And these people never learn. You're judging people that you offended by dancing to worldly music at them. It's like you're dancing in our fucking faces. Sadly, it seems you will be those people when you see the future events. You'll come back to the Kingdom Hall and pull on the door. And we'll be dancing inside to Happy. Happy. Happiness is the truth. Sadly, it's too late to change then, and you will see Jehovah's name cleared. Because just like you don't like those people talking behind your back and saying mean and nasty things, Jehovah doesn't either. People were saying, you shouldn't be doing this in Jehovah's house, should you? I read this entire comments section. I didn't see anybody saying mean and nasty things about Jehovah. except he can hear and see it. So once again, thanks for the reassurance, and continue strengthening the faith of other faithful and selfless servants. Thanks, guys. You're dancing to hip-hop music in Jehovah's house. How can you call yourself selfless? I don't know. Oh, they just make me so mad. And here's Christian Vera. Appears to be, well, something's going on there. TJ, for my brothers, I have very careful with what you up of origin doubtful. She's saying that the origin of this music seems doubtful. Often in our meetings, the slave we advise that we only website to which we can enter his official page. She's saying the only approved website for Jehovah's Witnesses is jw.org, not YouTube, not Pharrell Williams, which we all know and which we have participated in the beautiful campaign for. I don't know. Carefully, the devil is worth many rounds. It is very sly. I know where enter. The origin of this video is not applicable to our official page. Let us be cautious. What this Jehovah's Witness woman from another country is trying to say, in broken English, is that this seems dubious. These are actual Jehovah's Witnesses. This isn't the only comment on the page. There are actual Jehovah's Witnesses that are uncomfortable about all this. They're worried. Was this worth it? Apparently it was. Look, the people in Bethel, Bethelites are not stupid people. They're not. Those are A-listers. If you're working in the audio video department of Watchtower's headquarters, I'm assuming you know right from wrong. If you're one of the elders that oversee these areas where people are dancing, I'm assuming you know right from wrong. I'm assuming you know the codes of proper conduct for Jehovah's Witnesses. This was a calculated decision. And you knew that people would there would be people that take offense to this. You knew that there would be Jehovah's Witnesses that would take offense to this. And that was a calculated decision you made. Oh, I know. Well, apparently people are saying, well, this was never supposed to get out. That therein is a problem in itself. They're saying, oh, well, no one was supposed to see this. This was just supposed to be for the Bethel family to see. This was just supposed to be an inside joke for ourselves. I'm not sure if I believe that. It all seems very calculated to me. Oh, you caught us having fun. This is what goes on here. Oh, you were never supposed to see. Oh, we're just carefree people that kick our shoes off, start dancing like it's Footloose. Even if it was just family night at Bethel, the recreational family night where people put on wigs and act silly and they'll do little skits. They're human beings. I'm not trying to pile on these people. I'm talking about this specific video. This specific campaign, this JW.org campaign. That's really what has really got my britches in a bunch. This JW.org campaign. It's false advertising. And this thing, all these trendy things that JWs are doing, wearing baseball caps with a JW.org logo, you know this stuff is going to offend older people. You know, even if it's just some JW sitting in the audience, you know that there's going to be old people offended by this. You're doing it anyway. You have made the calculated decision that stumbling your own brothers and sisters, even if it's a small number of them, is worth it for this PR campaign you're doing for the world. Bethelites are not worried, sister. This is another guy talking to broken English, but I make out what he means. He's basically saying, we don't give a frig. We're not worried. And, well, we'll move it along here. Here's Mickey Garcia. I'm sure they're not Jehovah's Witnesses, and this video is a fake about them. Mickey is theorizing that this is not an authentic video. It's a trick. Well, why would Mickey say such a ridiculous thing? Well, that is a constant and consistent Jehovah's Witness teaching. that many things you're going to see on the internet, hey, this goes back to my own childhood. I've been hearing this all my life. Anything negative or questionable that you would hear about Jehovah's Witnesses, it may be counter information being spread by Babylon. The churches of Christendom, they do this. They float semi-factual or incorrect things about Jehovah's Witnesses into making them look foolish. Anytime something foolish about Jehovah's Witnesses appears in the news about a JW man beating his wife or something, or children being molested and it being in court, well, it's a trick of Christendom. And so Mickey is going with this theory. Mickey, and the problem here, well, I don't have to tell all of you that watch the video, that is most certainly the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses. You can check the skyline of the buildings if you don't. They're in Jehovah's Witnesses headquarters. Well, Mickey doesn't understand this, or he doesn't believe it, and so he's asserting with certainty these are not Jehovah's Witnesses. And that's why. But they are. Well, the lesson here is that this is something customary Jehovah's Witnesses too. They will assert to you that they know the truth and they know the facts and they know the reality, and you are wrong and you've been fooled and you are deceived. Well, Mickey, is that Mickey or Mikey? You're wrong. You're wrong, dude. This is the guy that goes door to door teaching you the truth, by the way, and he doesn't know when it comes to other Jehovah's Witnesses dancing to hip hop music. He doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, and so he's assuring you that this is a trick. It's a trick from Satan's world. And of course, people chime in and say, "No, dude, no, you're wrong." Here's Bob Smith. He said, it must have been the Catholics that snuck into Watchtower's Bethel headquarters and started filming the video when the JWs weren't looking. Preposterous. And, we'll try to wrap this up. Here's this Nikhil Lagar's guy from earlier. Look, for any fellow JWs on here, just don't get involved. People are going to bash and misconstrue this every time. I saw the man moonwalk with my own eyes. I saw people doing dance moves that you see at nightclubs. That's club dancing. They're going to twist it and find ways to degrade it. You degraded yourselves. To make us sound bad. Well, this could have been avoided if you just didn't make the friggin' video. Just ignore them. They're not worth it. People will think, wait, Jesus said if you stumble even the littlest one, it will cost you your life. Jehovah and Jesus said that even if you stumble the least among you, they will require and ask back the greatest punishment from you. People will think what they want to. I thought the whole purpose of being a Jehovah's Witness is everything is about walking on tippy toes, of not offending anyone anywhere for any reason at any time. It's all about sanctifying Jehovah's name through your action and your dress and your grooming. Oh, it's gone out the window. All of a sudden, and they've been busted on their hypocrisy, so now they're begging off. You want to talk about a Bible prophecy? You have people begging off. I'm not saying not to show a witness if the opportunity is given, as is our duty. But if it's all around negative commentary, don't even bother. He's saying, in case you're not gathering what he's saying here, he's saying, I'm not saying not to show a witness if the opportunity is given. It's like a secondary factor of Jehovah's Witnesses now. Their main thing is just talking about how awesome JW.org is and dancing in videos, apparently. And then if the opportunity later comes up to give a witness, then why not? Well, I suppose it's our duty. But if it is an all-round negative commentary, don't even bother. Essentially saying, if somebody is offended by this dance video, well, don't even bother giving them Jehovah's message. Remember, Satan is blinding the minds of the wicked ones. Satan is blinding the minds of the wicked ones. 4 people thumbed that up. Satan is blinding our minds by, I don't know, is this a trick? Jehovah, did Satan put x-ray glasses on me and now it looks like a man is moonwalking who's supposed to be serving you? He's moonwalking. Can you imagine any character from Jehovah's Bible stories moonwalking? Can you imagine the prophets of old, Zechariah, Zephaniah, Isaiah, Habakkuk? Can you imagine any of these people moonwalking in front of the people they're supposed to be preaching to? They put this video on the this is for the public to see on YouTube. They put this on Satan's media site. They could have put a video witnessing to people. They didn't do it. They could have put a 5-minute video giving an accurate witness, and instead they made a video of themselves dancing like fools. Back in the old days, I remember that back in the old days, the 80s and 90s, we would have dreamed for the opportunity people have on YouTube today to witness to thousands of people at once. What a dream come true. And instead, with this, we have happy people dancing to hip-hop music. Somebody brought out the point, this video seems just as inappropriate as tight pants. How can you complain about people's pants when there's people doing the Running Man in Jehovah's house? They're doing, who cares anymore? I don't know. This video is fake. You win. The video's fake. We faked it. The apostates faked it. They did it somehow. It's Photoshop. They used CGI. There's a part where I ask, just an open-ended question. Did that man just moonwalk at Jehovah's Temple of Pure Worship? I just wanted, are my eyes deceiving me? Did I see this? Well, a Jehovah's Witness here says, moonwalk was invented in the year 1930, and Michael Jackson copied it. Wait, okay, why would the year the dance is invented be? Wait, the moonwalk? How would people in 1930 know that there's limited gravity on the moon and that people would walk funny? I thought that wasn't discovered or even theorized until the 50s or 60s. Moonwalk. I don't know, maybe it's true. Moonwalk, they call it moonwalk because it looks like astronauts shuffling their moon boots on the surface of the moon, right? Well, excuse me if I'm wrong, that happened in the 1960s. I don't know who I'm having this conversation with. What am I even talking about anymore? Moonwalk was invented in the 1930s when nobody had been to the moon or seen the moon or... Anyway, the moonwalk was invented in the year 1930, so it's okay. It's all about what year it was invented in. And so I say, oh, well, then go ahead. She comes back and says, so what's the problem about them moonwalking in an area under construction? The problem is that I've seen children get whipped for listening to worldly music. Now this man is dancing to it on consecrated ground? And, well, there's a woman snapped at me for this, and she deleted her comments. I don't know if it's because, and this has been happening a lot. I don't know if it's because they suddenly realize and think better of themselves. I hope so. But I've been noticing a lot of JWs respond to me and then immediately delete their comment. I don't know, are they covering their tracks? Are they doing a hit and run thing? It's all shady to me. The Bible says, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. I stand by what I say, unless, there's nights, everyone has nights where they've been drinking and they delete their video next day. For God's sakes, you can't just get into a conversation with people and then start deleting your comments. This seems to be a repeat thing with the Jehovah's, and they keep doing it. Well, I'm not having it anymore. I've thank God for email. That's all I can say because the comment remains there. And this was Deborah S. And she said, Since when is moonwalking bad? You did not really write that. Deborah, now Deborah's a middle-aged woman's name. You gotta be 40, right? Since when is moonwalking bad? You've gotta be shitting me. When did moonwalking become bad? Oh, I don't know, somewhere around kindergarten? I remember being 5 years old, 6 years old, and kids at school were doing the moonwalk, because that was the big thing. If you're young, you don't know how huge that was in the 80s, moonwalking. People went insane about it. What is the stuff that people are into now? It's nothing compared to the Michael Jackson era. Moonwalking was huge. And I remember, I'll tell you a true story. There was these two twin boys named Andrew and Aaron at our Kingdom Hall. And in the Kingdom Hall parking lot, after the meeting, one of them started moonwalking. I don't think he even knew who Michael Jackson was. He just seen kids at school doing it. He got spanked. His mother, a woman named Morgan, grabbed him and swatted his ass multiple times because he was moonwalking in the Kingdom Hall parking lot. You are reaching for straws. And I told Deborah, Jehovah's people are told not to be imitators of the world. Are you going to grasp at straws and tell me that that man is not imitating the world? This is what it really comes down to. All of this comes down to. These people are imitating the dance moves of the world. These are not things that they originated themselves. They came directly from Satan's world. Are you going to grasp at straws and tell me they didn't? I know better. You know better, and I hope that's why you removed your comment. This person brought out, do you think it's okay for a current JW to imitate Michael Jackson, who was an ex-JW? A disfellowshipped or disassociated, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, they've recanonized Michael Jackson. I've seen Michael Jackson fan videos made by JWs on there, because after he's dead, apparently he's okay. Well, it is what it is. You're going to tell me that he's imitating some dance move from the 1930s? Do not even try. It was directly imitating Michael Jackson. We all know it. Here's this douche again. Hey brothers, attention. It seems that both Dan Mara, former, which has become an apostate. Be careful what you say. Do not be fooled. Their criticism, but I've seen things that scare me about her. I've seen things about you that scare me. Andrea, you have a woman's name. Hey, stop the comments, please. I'm afraid that there are apostates who comment. And he wants the comment section turned off because he's afraid that apostates are being allowed to comment. And as you know, that's against Jehovah's Witness rules. Marble 7th decides to weigh in. You might want to disable comments to remove the negativity. I found this ironic, this video about how happy everything involving Jehovah is. Hey, we're in Jehovah's happy world of pure happiness. And disabling comments of people that aren't happy. By the way, the negativity they're talking about is, if you wonder who all these people in the comments section are saying, this seems really hypocritical to me. Well, where did they get this sour attitude? Well, these are Jehovah's people. These are Jehovah's happy people, except the ones that aren't happy, they get their comments disabled. It's called disfellowshipping. It's called the meetings. If you don't do what you're supposed to and be happy, then you get disabled. And your ability to comment is removed and shut down. Thus ensuring that only happy people exist. Only happiness is allowed in Jehovah's happy land. Yeah, I agree. I think it was dumb to post this with comments enabled. letting people express how offended they are at us for being hypocrites. What? It was dumb to even allow that. EP cider? That's a gross name. EP cider. Enjoy some of this pea-flavored cider. Might be a good idea to block comments. And we'll leave it there. Have a good one, folks. Adorn, it's not that fun. I've watched the videos. They're not good? They're not that good. They're boring as all hell. Nevertheless, they seem to be trying to trick people. It seems like they're trying to manipulate things to make it seem like jw.org is fun? The people are having fun. Look, fun things do happen for Bethelites. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of fun that happens behind the scenes, but it's not endorsed by this is workstations. The fun people have is that when they get invited to people's homes, they do cut loose a little bit. And yes, they would listen to poppy songs and dance around. It happens all the time. But not in Jehovah's house. Oh no. In this video, a man raises the roof. You're raising the roof on Jehovah's house. And I've heard people make the excuse, well, this man's outside. Magically, it doesn't count because this man's standing outside. Oh, well, they're seriously talking about the technicality of this man being standing outside the building on the driveway area. Well, what about the people running in the hallways? Huh? There's people running and dancing through Jehovah's hallways. I just had a commenter tell me a story about a little boy that was quickly walking down the steps of an assembly to get to the restroom, and a grown man body checked him to the ground, knocked the shit out of him because he was jealous for Jehovah's house. And that little prick had been running in Jehovah's house. I made a video couple weeks ago about people whipping kids' ass, grabbing kids and whipping their ass for running in Jehovah's house. Now you got people that should know better dancing in Jehovah's house. There was a man doing kick squats on the top of Jehovah's house. Some dick raising the roof inside Jehovah's house. Jehovah's holy house! His holy friggin' house! The infuriating part is how quickly these rules at government buildings do not have this sort of control. These are tightly wound people. By the way, this is false advertising. You think this is what Bethel is like? Bethel does not endorse any sort of raucous behavior or loud music. They don't. You think this is a day at Bethel. They don't allow people to play loud music at Bethel. They don't allow people to leave a napkin on their, if you leave your toothbrush laying on your sink in your own personal bathroom, you get written up. If you leave a sock on your bureau, you get written up. You only get so many warnings before you're dealt with. These people are cutting loose. Fudge. This is absolute false advertising. These people are not carefree. The world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses is not a carefree environment. They're lying to you. This is a trick. This is the only time, well, I shouldn't say the only time. They do have family night. They have very, very individual occasions on which people can let their hair down. But even those, this is people in their workstations acting up. I saw a man throwing papers in the air. people swinging things around. This is not okay. But for the purposes of this, it's a cost analysis thing where they're doing this big PR makeover. I don't know how it started. I think an independent consulting company, Watchtower Society, appears to have paid some consulting company to help them preserve their future, to help them rebrand and reform themselves. If you haven't noticed, in the past few years, it seems like there's been a sea change. Well, they're not really changing. They're not really becoming more like the world. They're giving the appearance that they are. They haven't changed. You've heard the talks. You've been to the meetings. They're not changing. Nothing about them is changing except for this advertising blitz. This is gigantic advertising jw.org at all costs. Make it seem fun. That seems to be the impetus. And I've been on JW. Well, we're here at this friggin' video. Happy at Bethel. Happy at Bethel. This is, well, I'm sure you've all seen this, but it is showcasing how normal Jehovah's Witnesses are, and they're just like everyone else. In fact, they're so much like everyone else that they are jumping on this trend that happened a year and a half ago where everyone is... I'm not going to play this song for you because people were sick of this song a year ago. And Jehovah's Witnesses at Bethel decided to play the frickin' happy song that nobody likes anymore, if they ever did like it. And it's, well, you remember the big fad that was going on where people in offices would do a montage. It was everything. It was, they'd have Walmart people all dancing together to the happy song, and then they'd have, it'd show the lighter side of everyone. People that are usually considered stodgy, like they'd have senior citizens in their rest homes doing the happy dance. They were showing, this is not a stale environment. See, we're in an office, we're in cubicles, but look, we're throwing our papers in the air and we're dancing, we're happy. And Jehovah's Witnesses late to the party, as usual, but they decided to just toss their hat into the ring, and I never would have imagined this when I was younger. I'm from a different world, folks. I grew up in the 80s world of Jehovah's Witnesses. This never would have happened. Nothing like this ever would have been condoned or even considered okay. Not by anyone, not for one. I've seen people reprimanded sternly for far less than this. If you're wondering what this dick is doing, well, he's moonwalking. He's in the middle of a friggin' moonwalk. Moonwalking! If you're anyone between the age of 30 and 50, I don't even have to explain to you why this is wrong. I don't even have to explain to you. I won't even get into why this is wrong. It's infuriating. My blood pressure will go up. I can't take it. This is, 20 years ago, this was probably the most offensive thing that a Jehovah's Witness could do. If it was a young person whose parents were Jehovah's Witnesses and they wanted to rebel or offend their parents, moonwalking. Well, apparently now it's okay. Moonwalking is okay. I'm flustered. This video really cheesed me off. I know some people laughed at this video like they got a giggle out of it. To me, it was just infuriating. It's like they were giving Jehovah the finger. By the way, if you're wondering where this man is, he's apparently at the Warwick construction site. Jehovah's ground that was bought with your donation money. This man's moonwalking. I was on the RBC for many years. Since I was 12. My dad at one time was the RBC director in our area. And so I've been on a lot of hall builds. Dozens of hall builds. This kind of a conduct is not appropriate. They don't even allow you to wear... I've seen people turned away from hall builds because they were wearing neon There was one person that got turned away because they were wearing neon green shoestrings. And the brothers couldn't allow that. By the way, he was a local brother. That was his Kingdom Hall. The RBC comes from all different directions to help people rebuild or remodel their Kingdom Halls. This is somebody that went to that congregation. And somebody from out of town turned him away because his tennis shoes had bright green shoestrings on it. I've seen people that had to go home and change clothes because they were wearing a sweatshirt that had the Adidas logo on it. Well, brother, we can't have those sort of logos on it. We're supposed to be no part of the world. We don't bring worldly things into Jehovah's land here. And if you're wondering, is a Kingdom Hall site or any construction site, is that holy ground for Jehovah's Witnesses? Well, the answer is yes. Even before the Kingdom Hall is dedicated, they hold meetings on that site. And people are wearing work clothes, of course. They're not working in their suits and ties, but they are told to be dressed in Christian attire, maintain Christian modesty and Christian attitudes and a Christian decorum at all times. On a hall build, this man is moonwalking. I've seen people horse around at hall builds here and there a little bit. One time a person was pretending to hit someone else with their hammer. That person was sternly reprimanded. I saw another time where some young teenagers, some young people working at a Kingdom Hall build were just joking around and they started shoving each other a little bit. They were told to go sit in the car. And they had driven, they come with their families and driven probably 100, 150 miles away. They spent the rest of the day sitting in their car, separated. They wouldn't even let them work because they had, that decorum had been compromised. And this idiot is moonwalking on Jehovah's ground. This is ground that belongs to Jehovah. You do not imitate worldly dancers and worldly singers on Jehovah's property. This is Jehovah's property. That's Jehovah's shit behind you. You do not imitate something you saw on MTV or some worldly channel. Where did this man learn to do this, by the way? This is an old dick here. How old is this guy? 40? Was this guy doing this in his basement his whole life? He didn't just learn to moonwalk for this video. Oh, I just now learned how to moonwalk for this video. This dick's been doing this in secret his whole life. And now, when apparently this has been okayed by the higher-ups. Look, this had to have been okayed. If you've ever been to the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, it is tightly controlled. And this is not one rogue elder. This is not one rogue section. This was all over various parts of Bethel, various locations. Each zone overseer had to sign off on this. Well, what does that mean? It means it was okayed at the very top levels. I'm talking about the governing body had to sign off on something like this. I'm sorry if you need to know this. The governing body, I don't think they participated in this video, or they probably didn't even know the details of the video. But they did okay it. That's just the way the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, it is the most tightly controlled environment